nothing else matters. My feet in the stirrups, I'm so happy. There's nothing like the sound of Carolina hoofbeats.
With me now is Jeramie West. Jeramie, you've had such a diverse background in horses. Tell us a little bit about your experience in the horse world.
All right. I got introduced to horses in our neighborhood in California. They had a guy that came around with a pony cart. And for a nickel, you could ride in the cart and he'd take you around the block.
Oh,
and
wow.
for a quarter, you could sit on the pony.
Oh, cool.
And I begged and begged and begged my mom, you know, to let me have the money so every Thursday, I think it was when he came, I could ride. That's where the bug bit me. I don't come from a horse family at all. So horses, I had a single mother growing up, so she struggled hard to make riding opportunities available for me. Because of that and because I was willing to work, I've cleaned stalls for some of the best in the industry. In California, I started with Jack and Linda Baker.
Wow.
Yeah. I've just had a lot of opportunities to ride with people because I was the kid that would work for it, you know. I rode at Foxfield Riding Academy. We had the tackless drill team. Hilda Gurney was my like pony club instructor. I mean,
wow.
Just random things
Yeah.
that I've just been in the right place at the right time, and you know, I'm old enough that I was kind of in the right places growing up. I took a lot of lessons and showed hunt seat. I've done endurance riding, you know, worked with an endurance rider. I've done the stock seat coming from that. And hunt seat was my passion for a long time. And when I went to when I went on to college, I moved to San Diego, and I started galloping racehorses for Charlie Whittingham, who's
nice. Yes, very famous.
I grew up watching him race, or his horses race. So I galloped for Charlie Whittingham, and I started riding with a lady named Diana Moraves, and she was my first real dressage instructor, and I owe a lot to her as far as the foundation that she laid within me on that skill. But my first horse that I ever showed in dressage, I showed pre-St. George. Well, nobody does that.
No, nobody does that.
I was leasing a horse that was a pre-St. George horse, and I didn't know you didn't do that. So we just did that. You know? So it's just a lot of kind of funny things.
Fate kind of pushed you in that direction.
Yeah, exactly. My first horse I ever owned, I bought for 8 cents a pound. They had killer horses back then. And she was beautiful, and she was in San Diego, and she was beautiful, and there was a gentleman that he leased 1,000 acres for his cattle. This was in San Diego, and he would run 100 horses, and he would lease those horses out for $30 a month. Well, that paid his land. The horses grazed, so there was no expenses. And I went riding with a friend who was leasing one of these horses, and I said, "Who's that one? You know, she's beautiful." And she said, "Well, that one's dangerous. You can't ride that one." And I was like, that was a challenge to me. So anyway, I got the guy, and I said, "Can I ride that horse?" He says, "I will assume no liability. She has put 2 people in the hospital." On and on with the story. She'd had her tongue split with a barbed wire bit. They'd basically taught her to do some gaming, but they didn't teach her brakes. And she was just one of these on the muscle kind of horses. So anyway, I said, if I can teach this horse to walk and do its job, can I buy it? So he did. He sold her to me for $80, for 8 cents a pound. And that was the start of me owning horses, because I had to wait till I was on my own. So, anyway, it's just been just a lot of opportunities have come my way, just kind of been put in front of me. From there, I started running my own barn and had a good clientele, very nice clientele. We did dressage and hunt seat. And then the job at the base stables at Camp Pendleton came available, and I was actually solicited for the position.
Nice.
I'm a veterinary technician. That's, you know, part of what I was educated in. So that and my training made me a good candidate. So I ran the base stables at Camp Pendleton for a while. Married a Marine, ended up out here.
Right.
So that's how I ended in North Carolina.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, thought, well, I'm not going to train anymore. I'm just going to ride and do that thing. Well, it's in your blood. You either are or you aren't, and I was. So, long story short, since I've been in North Carolina, I've done dressage, we do Western, we do hunt seat, we do showmanship, we do combined training, we do a little bit of everything. And because I have such a varied background, we just kind of bring it all to the table. And I study hard. I mean, I've tried to learn from everybody that I can. To be on a list that includes Mary Miller Jordan is amazing. She and I rode horses together back when, you know. So, I mean, I have the utmost of respect for her.
And she you.
But I ended up buying this little farm by myself. It's a lot for one person.
21 acres is a lot for one
21
person.
acres, and I don't have a tractor or a mower.
Wow,
So
that is a lot.
It's all hired out. I actually had some friends come yesterday. I mean, God has just blessed me in so many ways with great people. Everybody just, I can't even explain the family. You know, when I needed lights and I was running my barn off extension cords, the kids got together, raised the money, and hired the guy who actually did the lights for Williamston.
Wow.
And he came out and put in my electricity and my lights. I mean,
Nice.
just those kind of gifts, you know. Like I said, they came, they mowed yesterday. I didn't ask. They just said, we're here. And that's the kind of people that are in my life. So.
Right. Well, I'm sure that you draw people like that because that's you.
Oh.
You know, just knowing you a short time, I know that that's you. So
Thank you.
that's good. And folks, when people were voting for the trainers and everything, Jeramie received a tremendous amount of votes and comments from other trainers as well. So, I mean, you had a lot of regard in the horse industry, so that was nice.
Thank you.
Every 13.7 minutes, somebody commits suicide in the United States. Join us in Tryon, North Carolina at the Fence Equestrian Center for a 5-day event like no other. On October 20th through the 24th, we are raising funds for suicide prevention and awareness. We have clinicians coming from all over for the entire 5-day stay, and we'll be given demos as well as clinics and lessons throughout the event. Please join us at lionslegacyrideforlife.com for more information.
If you're interested in a career working with horses, then Martin Community College is the place for you. MCC's Equine Technology program is the only one offered among North Carolina's 58 community colleges. The program is management-oriented with classes in breeding, nutrition, training, riding, equine health, and more. Graduates can leave MCC prepared to work in recreational and racing barns, breed to discipline-oriented farms, or assistant farm management. For more information, contact Martin Community College today.
So now you've done 4-H because we came and met your 4-H group.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about your 4-H experience.
Okay. I was about 35, and that my clock was ticking. It went crazy. I had bought this farm. I was finally in a situation where, you know, I was like, okay, I'm ready to start a family, but that really wasn't in the cards for me. But I wanted to share the things that I could with the youth of today. I believe in that. I believe you have to pay it forward. I believe that if you don't keep that alive, it's going to go away.
I agree.
So I decided instead of having a family, I had a 4-H club, and I started that, and they have been my family. It's the best.
I was going to say, what have you got, about 120 kids?
Yeah. You know, I always tell everybody I'm going to be the single little old lady in the nursing home that nobody comes to visit on the holidays, and they're like, oh no.
Not hardly. Not hardly.
You have a family, you know. I'm very blessed. I
Yes.
really am. I just kind of go where I'm supposed to.
So you've become a judge also?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Friend of mine kind of talked me into taking my judge's license, my judge's test for AQHA. It was always kind of elusive and out there to me that I have such reverence for the judges, and he was going to take his. He said, "Come on, you should come too." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." So I said, "All right." So I studied and I signed up and paid my fees, and we went out there, and it was hard.
It is hard.
It was very hard.
A lot of people don't make it.
And I got it first time out.
Fabulous.
No practice
Congratulations.
runs. Thank you. And I got my card in March, and Steve Lackey is a judge. A lot of people know. He was supposed to judge this show, and he had to judge he got invited to judge a different show, so I got asked if I would judge it. So within a month of having my card, I've actually judged my first quarter horse show.
Fabulous.
So that was fun. I had a blast.
I bet. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And so now what are you going to do in the future? What are your plans hold for you? So
Western dressage is a passion for me. I've always said that Western and dressage were the closest two disciplines, so when they came together, that was exciting. I'm going to test for my WDAA card, my NAWD card, so I'd like to be very, well embedded in that industry. And Western dressage just got accepted into quarter horse, just like last month.
Right.
So I'd like to, my goal on my bucket list is to judge the Western dressage of the world.
All right.
For quarter horse. That's a goal if I can get there.
Well, you will. I have no doubt.
Thank you. And there's a couple other cards I'd like to get along the way. I think judging, I'm no spring chicken anymore, and there comes a point where 60-year-old women don't really need to be riding the tough horses. Is kind of how I feel, and I'm not very many years from that. So, I think judging will be a good way to finish my career in horses. I can still teach. I'd like to judge. I can stay active in 4-H. You just kind of got to look to where's the horizon going.
Right.
And I feel very blessed to have my farm and the people in my life and the opportunity to live my dream. I truly am living my dream.
Now, I noticed that your business is called Jeramie West Performance Horses. So do you train or sell performance horses?
That isn't a core part of my business. Yes, as horses come available, sometimes, owners change their life, or we have to get a new horse, a senior horse for somebody and move up. So we do have horses come along occasionally for sale. That is not my focus at all.
Okay.
My focus is really truly, I don't do beginners at all. I don't think a kindergarten teacher is a good college professor.
Right.
You have different skills.
Right.
I think I'm a good high school teacher. I'm not going to say I'm at the, top up here, but I found my niche, and so I think that's where my gift is, and that's what I like doing. I like to, work with people and their horses.
Right. And Jeramie's going to be writing some articles for our magazine. Thanks for spending some time with me.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
My name is Scott Brookins, and I am the owner of Brookins Construction and MD Barn Master of the Carolinas. At MD Barn Master, we have the best warranty in the business. We have a variety of designs to choose from. Our barns are easily customizable to meet your needs. We have financing available to those who qualify. Our barns are fire resistant, and they hold their value with little maintenance. Let us build your dream barn for you today.
You've worked hard and carefully planned your career. You've built your business. Shouldn't your farm's appearance reflect who you are, your success? Like a timeless work of art to be your legacy, handed down through your generations. Let T&T Lawn Care design, install, and maintain a landscape to reflect who you've become. With our uncompromising attention to detail, we deliver high value in a competitive market. Call T&T Lawn Care today, 336-574-0410.
I said, I want you to do one thing. Can you feed them a third time a day? And they'll say, yeah, I can do that. I can feed them before I go to bed. I said, I don't want you to feed any more feed. I want you to take the amount that you're feeding in the morning and cut it by 1/3 and save it for bedtime. Let's go back to the original thing we started with tonight. What does a horse want to do? How many hours a day does he graze? At least sun up to sundown, or longer. So when you give him a gulp in the morning and a gulp in the afternoon, you're stressing his system, and he's got a lull in between. If you just spread that out, he'll take the same amount of food. You don't spend any more money. It just takes 5 more minutes to feed him a third time. A lot of times that horse will turn out and go, just flush right out. I had a lady in Andrew one time, and y'all probably seen the picture at the feed mill. She had rescued 2 horses that looked terrible. What they lived on before was scrub brush and a salt block. So they were in terrible shape. So anything I did for them was going to look great. Okay? So after 3 months of using a high quality feed, horse 1, you would not recognize the horse. It went from being dull coat, light hair, to almost black hair. I thought the lady was lying to me that was the horse, but you could see one little spot on his hock, and you could identify the horse from that one spot on the hock. The second horse still looked like junk. I asked her, tell me everything you're doing. She said, I'm feeding you 1 time a day. I told her to feed the same amount of feed, but cut it in half and feed it 2 times a day. In 10 days, she brought me a picture of that horse. 10 days. And you would not recognize that was the same horse. Have you seen drastic things like that happen?
Very much so. Very much so.
I'm going to give you an example of a barn that Thomas Barnhill called on in the past year. I'm not going to tell you who it is because I can't. Large barn, $500,000 set up, greatly established. The property's worth millions of dollars. Ton of feed a week. New manager comes into the barn. She calls us in and says, I don't like the way the horses look in this barn. I didn't either. Body scores 3s and 4s. Rough haircut. We kept talking, what's going wrong? But she said, first of all, I've got everybody on this side of the barn that has their own feeds. It's Nutrina A, Nutrina B, Nutrina C, Nutrina D. I'm not picking on you, I'm telling you what happened. 4 kinds of feeds, plus the barn mix. She says, what can we do to the barn mix? She says, what I really want to do is have 1 feed for the whole barn, and we need to find out what's wrong. Here's what we determined was wrong. They kept the horses in the pasture at night. They brought them in the morning, put them in a stall, fed them at 9:30. They fed them again at 1:30. What was that? 4 hours difference. That was all the food they got all day long. So the first thing we did was we took the feedings, the same amount of food, split it up 9. I stretched them out to 2 and 6. They didn't want to do it because it was a human convenience. Didn't cost them any more money. Actually, what I did was I challenged Nutrina's feeds to I would make the same feed that they were doing and drop their poundage from 8 pounds a day barn mix to 6 pounds that would match what Nutrina was doing. And didn't cost them a penny more because you're feeding 2 pounds less feed, but the horses look good. Look good. Guess what happens? New barn manager. He comes in. He doesn't have a problem with it. He thinks everything's going good. The horses look good then. The owner walks in and says, this feed costs too much. So guess what they're back to doing? Feeding a cheap pelleted feed twice a day.
The North
Carolina proudly presents 5-minute lessons again this year at the North Carolina State Fair. We are so excited because the 5-minute lessons will be available free of charge to anyone who would like to participate all 10 days of the fair, anytime between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Hi, I'm Rick Peniston. I train my horse Jake to trust me and be brave in order to face the obstacle challenges and win in extreme cowboy races. It takes dedication, hard work, and innovation to train a champion. As an attorney representing injured persons, I use the same skills to win compensation for people injured in accidents or on-the-job injuries. If you've been injured in an accident or on the job and need advice, call me. I want to hear from you.
So in 6 months, when they have a new barn manager, we'll go through it again. Do you run into that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, give me something more than that.
Oh, I need you more than that. I haven't got my kick going yet. Along with the same lines, a little branch I want to jump off into, and hopefully we'll get to this in a little bit, is if you read the back of the bags of feed that all the companies make, it's recommended so many pounds per 100 pounds of body weight. Well, that goes into, hey, nobody knows what their horse weighs. Everybody says horse 1,000 pounds, some are 1,200, some are 800. And more importantly, when I ask somebody, what's this horse eat? This horse eats 2 scoops of feed. Okay. How much scoop weigh? I don't know. Grandpa always fed him 2 scoops. So I dealt with a particular case of horse just kept getting fatter and fatter. So it wasn't a skinny side, it was an obese side. And I said, well, what does he eat? And the lady pulls up the scoop. I feed him right here. I said, okay. Well, she went to the house, the husband comes out, I said, how much does this horse eat? Oh man, I give him a scoop, it's running over the top, I put the bucket underneath it, and I give him a little bit more because I might have dropped some. And so, the trick is, as all the feeds go, weigh the scoop, so you know what the scoop weighs, the amount of feed in it. Because scoop of corn, scoop of oats, scoop of pellets, they're all different densities and they all got different weights. So once you figure out where that is in your said measuring device, whether it's the classic is the 3-pound Folgers coffee can. I feed him 3 pounds, because that's a 3-pound coffee can. Well, it's 3 pounds of coffee. It's not 3 pounds of horse feed. When you get all that straightened out, it's amazing what the horse will do.
Okay, let's go back and look at some basics. Need to wake y'all up a little bit. We're going to do a cheer. When I point here, I want y'all to say more. And when I point here, I want y'all to say less. Now, y'all ready to do this? Come on.
More, less, more, less.
I've heard that for years. Standard Mule City horse feed. 100 people want more molasses in it, 100 people want less molasses in it. Did anybody ask the horse? Again, I do business with people. That's how I make my living. And I listen to more and less. Nobody asked the horse. Here's the bottom line. Let's talk about molasses a minute. Sweet feed. Brian, you on mark on this? You with me? Okay. All right. Why is molasses in feed to start with? When we make sugar from sugar cane, molasses is the crud that's left over and we had to do something with it. So we put it in the horse feed. That's where molasses comes from. My dad started in the feed business in the 1950s. Molasses cost 2 cents a pound. He sold it for 3 cents a pound. That was his biggest markup item for the first 10 years he was in business. Now, if you see it listed on a feed tag when you get it custom made, it's 23 cents a pound. That's $460 a ton. When we make our standard horse feed, the only thing that costs more in that bag than molasses is the minerals. Not the oats, not the barley, not the corn. Okay, now, well, if you're putting that in there, it depends on the feed. The point behind the molasses is, what does the horse say about it? Anybody want to guess? He wants grass, but we have to feed him feed because we don't have grass. So As Matt says, you've got to get the amounts right. Once you do, when we process those grains, it comes out of that roller mill. It's a big grinder. That stuff is dusty. Horse is going to cough, especially.
That's better for business.
Especially if you're feeding them in a bucket up this high. If his head is pointed down and he's eating off the ground, he's not going to stir it up as much. But the reason for putting molasses in feed, there are two reasons that I come up with scientific. Reason number one, it kills the dust. Reason number two is the bacteria in that horse loves molasses. You and I can eat molasses all day long, and it won't do a whole lot for us. It's giant sugars that our body can't even break down. It tastes sweet, and it says it's got calories. That means that it'll burn in a scientific instrument at so many calories. That doesn't mean that you can gain weight on it. But bacteria can use it. Once you put about 50 to 80 pounds of molasses in a ton of feed, the horse could care less after that. Fixing to bring up something the Horse Council asked me to talk about. They have a great concern in general about these really, really cheap all-stock feeds that are being sold on the market. But there are a group of people that look for the cheapest thing they can feed their animal. And on that tag, most of them say, this is all-stock feed. It's for cattle. It's for horses. It's for goats. It's for sheep. Do y'all think that's nutritionally balanced for all those animals? The first thing that should get your mind, if you know anything about nutrition, is if they profess that it's good for sheep, it's not good for anything else because sheep can't have any copper in their diet. So first of all, your horse is going to look terrible. His haircut's going to be terrible. His immune system's going to be down. He's going to be subclinical. I want you tell them what subclinical means.
Almost sick, but not showing the signs.
That means you're a day away from the vet. There are a lot of horses in the state of North Carolina that are a day away from the vet. So what we have learned and what the Horse Council is trying to get people to understand is if you see a feed out there that is labeled for sheep, should you be feeding it to your horse? That's an educational point that is to be made tonight. You're just going to see it on TV. If it's labeled for a horse, it's for a horse. Feed companies will back that up. But if it's got sheep on the label, you need to think twice about it.
See